Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I, of course, am Jennifer, and if you have found this podcast, chances are you're a crossdresser. I've been crossdressing for a really long time, and I decided to do a podcast about it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please do me a favor before I start anything. Right below my picture here, please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I do episodes usually weekly, and I cover a wide range of topics. If you're a crossdresser or a trans individual, or even if you're a wife, girlfriend, significant other of a crossdresser, you'll probably find this podcast or these videos really of interest. I've been a crossdresser for a really long time. I talk about my life, my hopes, my dreams, desires, thoughts, tips, tricks for dressing. You name it, I cover it. And check out previous episodes. There's plenty of them out there, over 100 of them for you to watch. And thank you for watching this one. If you listen to Jennifer's Tale via audio and you're new, please do me a favor. All the rules apply that I just said. If you're a crossdresser or trans individual, this podcast is perfect for you. Please do me a favor and subscribe to this podcast. Like I said, it comes out weekly. And there's plenty of things for me to talk about, plenty of things I think you will find interesting. And let's get into this episode. Now, the title of this episode is Why Be Ashamed? And it was something I was thinking about as I was kind of driving around today. I had a little bit of time to dress up as Jen and go out and get myself a coffee and kind of do my usual girly thing when I'm Jen. And as I was driving, I was thinking about being ashamed of who I am. You know, I'm sure there's plenty of girls out there like me who at one point or another, maybe you think it right now, you're ashamed of who you are. You're ashamed of what you do. You're ashamed of being a crossdresser, and you're ashamed of the feelings that you have, that you enjoy wearing women's clothes. And I guess I was kind of thinking about it and asked myself, why should we be ashamed for doing this? And I think there's different reasons that you can think of. Like, for example, it isn't normal. If you are a heterosexual male or just a male in general, it's not normal for you to want to have a desire to dress up as a woman, to express your femininity, to want to look pretty and wear makeup and pantyhose and heels and a dress. And maybe you think that you should be ashamed of that. That's an example. But maybe another one is you're afraid of what it does to your masculinity. Maybe you think that you have friends that are big, tough, macho men who like riding four-wheelers or have big pickup truck or like to go fishing or hunting. They like to do, I guess, what you would consider manly things. Or maybe they're big into sports. Maybe they're big football fans and you're not so much. Maybe you prefer reading or artwork or listening to music as opposed to, watching Sunday NFL Ticket. And you don't feel like you're as manly or as masculine as other guys out there. Maybe you're a dad. Maybe you have kids. And maybe you feel ashamed of the fact that you may not set a good example for them. Maybe you think that your cross-dressing is something that you need to hide and you don't want them to know about. And maybe you think that maybe they kind of sense things from time to time, or maybe you accidentally left something out and you're ashamed that, your daughter found a pair of panties laying out, and mom wasn't home. How did they get out? Who knows? There's plenty of different things that you can think about as to why you might be ashamed of what you are or what you do, of who you are as a cross-dresser or someone who enjoys expressing your feminine side, or just in general you feel like you're not as manly or as good of a man as you could be, and you're ashamed of this part of who you are. But I'm here to tell you, you shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. It's something that I wrestled with over time. I was ashamed of my feminine side ages and ages ago. That's where the purging kind of comes into play. You might think to yourself, I'm going to quit doing this. I'm ashamed of who I am, and I'm going to get rid of all my feminine stuff, and I'm going to throw it away or donate it, and I'm never going to do this again. And if you have done this in the past, chances are that it never goes away. and it creeps back in. And over time, me speaking from experience, I can tell you, you're a lot better off not being ashamed of who you are and just embracing who you are. Especially in this day and age when there's so many different kinds of people out there, so many different types of individuals, humanity runs the spectrum, the gambit, from one end to another, from feminine to masculine, from gay to straight, from big macho manly guys to smaller, timidly quiet meek guys. Girls the same way. There's girls that are loud and outspoken on one end. There's girls who are quiet and shy and book readers on the other end. We all come in different sizes and shapes and thoughts and ideas and interests and feelings and desires. And as long as you're not harming anybody else, you should have nothing to be ashamed of. Even if you dress up and go out as your femme self, you might go out and as soon as you get in your car and you start driving, you are ashamed of how you look when you see yourself in the mirror, or ashamed of how you look if you go through a drive-through at McDonald's. There's no reason to be ashamed. You have a right to exist just as much as anybody else out there. You have a right to enjoy yourself and be happy as long as you're not hurting anybody. And dressing up in feminine attire, there's nothing wrong with that. There's some people that may take offense to it, or some people may not understand it, or just feel like you don't fit into the norm of society. But in this day and age, what exactly is norm or normal? Like I said, it runs the gambit. You can, for gay people, other gay people are normal. Straight people, other straight people are normal. There's so many facets to society and humanity and stuff. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Embrace who you are. You'll be much happier because of it. You'll enjoy life a lot more. You'll find yourself much happier. And in the long run, that's what it's all about, is being happy, enjoying who you are, enjoying life, and making the most of it and enjoying it to the fullest. So there's my little spiel about feeling ashamed and why you shouldn't be. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments about it. If you're watching this on YouTube, the easiest way is just leave a comment right on this video. Anybody who leaves a comment, I promise I always get back to you. I always answer as quickly as I can. You can also, if you're listening to this as an audio podcast, leave a comment there. If you listen on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, whatever. Another way you can do it is find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook page for Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I also have a personal Facebook page, Jennifer Hangartner, Hangartner. And last but not least, you can always send me an email as well. Send it to Jennifer's Tale Podcast. That's all one word, Jennifer's Tale Podcast @gmail.com. Promise I answer every single email that gets sent to me. I hope you found this episode really interesting and maybe a little bit insightful, both about how I feel and maybe about how you feel as well. And until next time, this is Jennifer saying hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.